So, I've been asked before what kind of things I have done that has made my family think I'm crazy. And so, for a long time, family members have been gaslighting me and trying to make me think that I'm crazy by doing fucked up shit that is ridiculous. So, and I've recorded some of them and I've showed it back to them, and it always backfires. So this past year, 2 years almost, I've just been mimicking the behaviors that they do towards me. So every single behavior that they do towards me, I've been mimicking it exactly the way that they have done to me. And essentially, to them, it's appalling and insane and delusional and fucked up. And I can't believe you would do that. And I can't believe you this and this and this and this. And honestly, it's appalling how people talk about accountability and responsibility and blah blah blah. I am incredibly traumatized, and a lot of my behaviors are reactive behaviors, and I do lose control. And that's why I had to get out of there, because this last time I did lose control mimicking my niece's behaviors. But I was literally toe for toe mimicking everything that she was doing, and she lost control and put hands on me, and then I lost control. And it's really frustrating to me because this has been going on my entire life, where my mom shuts me up and shuts me down so that, because I have to be understanding of everybody else, but no one is actually understanding or comprehensive of what I'm going through. So when I do have my meltdowns or my hulking out, I get blamed for the situation when I lose control. So I've made a huge effort to not only go to therapy, but find alternative therapies that help me with my meltdowns and my hulking out, because it used to happen a lot more, and no amount of psychiatric medication will help with that. It just won't help with that. If you don't learn to regulate meltdowns on your own, you're just going to have to keep upping the dose of the psychiatric medications that are used, because essentially they see that as anxiety and anger issues. But I even took anger management, and I can honestly tell you that my issues were not around, like, yeah, I'm angry at the situation that I'm living in, but I'm not actively reacting in anger. I am reactive to abuse, and I get frustrated and I have meltdowns when it's consistent. But it takes a lot to get me to that point. It takes so much to get me to that point. It's not like it just goes from zero to a billion in a second. It takes a lot to get me there because of how much work I've done on myself and how much help I have sought, and how many different alternative therapies and ways of living I have dipped into. And it was like, well, you're always changing, and you're just so fake because you're always changing. And it's like, dude, we're supposed to change. We're supposed to grow. And if it's another tool in my toolbox that will help me cope with what's going on in my body that you guys don't seem to understand, because people don't understand nervous systems like my own easily, then yeah. So it really frustrates me when there's a narrative going around about how I am and the things that I do, and essentially they ignore the fact that I've been mirroring behaviors toe for toe for almost 2 years. And with my mother, I've actually been mirroring her behaviors more and more since about 4 years ago, since about COVID, a little past COVID, because of the fact that I was like, dude, you want to see what it's like being with you people? Do you want to see what it's like living with you guys? So I've been mirroring all of their behaviors. And essentially this is how they've wanted to deem me, as the monster in the family. But essentially, if I'm a monster, so are you. And if me talking about my experiences makes you look bad, honey, my experiences are not the one that are making you look bad. Your behavior are what makes you look bad. And I will never, ever cover up for anyone again. In my lifetime, I will never cover up, not even for myself, because I am aware at the role. That's what I told my mom over a year ago. You want us to all go down for everything that's happening? We can all go down together. We can destroy this family together. Because essentially, you care about everything that's happening to you, but you don't seem to care about how your responses and your reactions and your neglect and your abuse affects others. Even when it's being mirrored back to you, exactly the way you behave is being mirrored back to you. You do not see it. You see what other people are doing to you, but you do not see what you do to others. And that's why with this one, it was just the final straw. I had to get the fuck out of there because it's like, dude, you guys you just don't get it. You just don't get it. And I can't keep playing this game. I do get cracked up though. And I was cracking up reading a poem I wrote yesterday because essentially that is what it is. And even in the house where I was living, I mirrored back some of their behaviors and it pisses them the fuck off, each individual. And it's like, dude, you want to be passive in your life? You can be passive aggressive in your own life. But passive aggressive behavior leads to hostility every time, never limited. And the thing is that neurodivergent individuals and people with chronic illnesses are always taking the brunt of the abuse. And I watch it consistently with multiple family members that take care of sick family members. I watched it with family members that were dying, where I even kicked out certain family members so that I could be alone with those members, and I took care of them despite it affecting my health, like with my cousin Sonia. Why? Because essentially you don't get it. You want to be angry, and also you want to be angry at the person who's dying and sick, but then you also want to pity them. And you want to make them feel like you want them to carry the emotional baggage that you're carrying, having to accept that that person is sick. Because essentially, for the longest time, nobody wants to accept how ill I am. And it's very frustrating because I'm okay with it. I've accepted it in my life, my entire life. Every time I get a new diagnosis, a new hurdle, I accept it and I move through it. Why? Because not accepting it, only when I first got diagnosed with my kidney disease, I struggled with it. The first 2 years that I was on chemotherapy, I struggled with it. Why me? Why me? Well, why not me? Yes, I was the one who ate the healthiest, but I was not. I was a doormat, and that's when I stopped. In my around 2021 is when I started standing up for myself, and it started to really separate me from a lot of family members. Especially those who choose to chase things that don't even matter, because essentially when you're chronically ill, none of that shit matters. It just doesn't matter. Chasing riches doesn't matter because essentially it costs more to be sick. And the more you chase those riches, the sicker that you get. And I can't. It's not that I'm not willing to work. I am willing to work as much as my body allows. Nothing more. No longer, nothing more. Why? Because when I was overworking my body, it almost killed me multiple times in different professions. And it killed my heart and my soul to work for family members who could not understand that and did not appreciate the effort that was given to their various forms of employment. We carried you when you were struggling, and you refuse to even acknowledge the struggle that we are going through and support us through that struggle. So honestly, in these particular cases, I will no longer mirror anybody's behavior. I will just remove myself, because I don't deserve the things that have been done to me. But I also recognize that by staying there, I'm giving you permission to behave that way towards me. You want to allow people to disrespect you, talk the way that you talk to them to you. Why? Because part of you feels like you deserve it. Okay, you do that. You do that. You want to take a passive role in your own life. You do that. You want to allow people to act like children when they're adults. I'm chronically ill. I have cognitive dysfunctions. I have a lot of issues that I'm dealing with, and I don't treat you motherfuckers like that. I don't. I mirror back to you when you're being a total dickhead, but I won't be doing that anymore. I love all of you. I love the world in general, and I will always mirror the world. But essentially, I can no longer do it in the way that I used to because I'm choosing me. I'd rather walk away and let my back and my ass be the mirror that you need. Because essentially, if you want to act like an ass, ass is all you get to see as I walk away. My beautiful, fluffy ass. And that's it. I love you and have a beautiful night.